Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Del Cueto, with regard to border states, in particular Arizona, you do have part of our international border with Mexico that runs through tribal lands there in Arizona. Are you familiar with that area?
I am, Congressman. That is the area I specifically have been working for over 18 years. That is the Tohono O'odham Nation. It's over 60 linear miles with the Mexican border.
Have you seen any problems with the drug cartels using that area for bringing in drugs?
Definitely, they put scouts on both sides of the border many times in order so they can coordinate the drug trafficking that they're bringing into the United States. It happens continuously, and they exploit that area specific because they know it's the barrier in that area is less than anywhere else it is, specifically in Tucson sector. And at the same time, there's different gaps that they can get through. There's different villages that they utilize on tribal land to assist them with bringing their drugs across.
Is there a difference in Border Patrol's ability to patrol that area of the border that runs through tribal lands as opposed to those areas that are with Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, California?
So when you're working with tribal land, there's different rules. There's different things that you must respect. Some of it, is sacred land that, they're very proud of, which is very much understandable. So there's different ways that you have to go about patrolling in those spots. There's also limited coverage at times when it comes to radio traffic, because you just can't just put towers wherever you want. So there is, definitely it's a different way to work there. A lot of the agents out there, they're still using the old method of tracking. So they track the drug smugglers through. Many times they'll be tracking drug smugglers all the way to some kind of highway where they lose track of them. And those are some of our gotaways. There's different methods that they use to track to be able to recognize if some of these individuals may be carrying backpacks of drugs or regular backpacks. It's just different methods. I would hate to go into it because I don't want to give any more information to the drug traffickers themselves so they can know what we're looking for.
Well, do you see any solutions that should be pursued that are not being in that area that you care to tell us about?
Obviously, more funding when it comes to some kind of barriers so you can funnel individuals in the correct place. That's a huge plus. More prosecutions of the individuals when they do get detained and get arrested. And at the same time, you have to imply other immigration policies. It's a domino effect. But when you're telling individuals that can enter this country illegally and there will be no consequences for their actions, that is pretty much inviting people to come here, break the law, and the cartels are aware of that. So obviously the Remain in Mexico policy is something huge. Maybe bring some more immigration judges and or asylum officers down there so they can see a lot of these cases for asylum are not true asylum claims. And that way they can have agents actually working these areas to stop the flow of drugs that are entering our country.
Do you think it would help to have immigration judges right there on the border working in shifts so that you could give people immediate hearings as soon as they were obtained or taken in custody?
Definitely. When you do something like that, you send a clear message to the drug smugglers. You send a clear message to the human smugglers that the United States is not going to tolerate individuals just false claiming to come into the United States. When you do that, it'll lower the flow. And I know people get upset, but the reality is when President Trump first took over office, he lowered those numbers just by rhetoric alone. Right now, rhetoric is not going to do it. We need policies that are going to affect this change, and we owe that to the tribal people that are on this panel. We owe it to the tribal lands. Yeah. We owe it to all Americans, frankly.
Well,
and again,
one last question very quickly, though. Does that affect just the areas on the border? Does it affect the whole country?
It affects the entire country. The drug cartels are making money off of people in the entire country. They transport their drugs everywhere in the United States.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all you do for us.